You should be seeing me again. You should be hearing me again. Are we back? Wi-Fi, will you cooperate, please? Hi! Hello, Wally. Why, gun? Yeah, I'm still very confused with the billing date, but hello, it's me, Raven. Welcome to Emerald Lake. I'm very sorry for the nonsense. First, again to Devon. Good job snagging that the second time. Um, is he? Yes. So, I should be slowly working again now. Wi-Fi decided that it was gonna cut out a bunch, but it should be fine now. It's looking like it's cooperating now. We'll hope. Cross your fingers. Or whatever appendages work in that place. I don't know. You got bonked last time? What? On-screen chat needs a refresh. It does seem to be having issues. I don't know why it's not doing that. I could not tell you why that one's being bad. I know now. I should have also restarted OBS probably. Ugh. Let's go. Let's go. Cooperate. You came in to say hi and then dip. Okay, bye-bye, Wally. Looks like we're having our difficulties, so I do not... Thanks, Divide. I do not blame you, but thank you for making me feel better, Divide. Chat doesn't want to work. We're gonna put chat away. Hopefully it catches up. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what its problem is. And I'm not good at working that out. Not while my brain is busy also trying to prepare to read. There you go. Welcome, Pazuzu. And unfortunately, the chat on screen is still not cooperating. Most things are cooperating now, but not that. Why are you being mean? But hi, everybody. I guess I can do announcement-y things right now. It's probably a pretty good idea right now, right? Well, so I am now trying to keep to schedules, as you are probably maybe aware, with my post for January. Here I was, very confused though, about the bit of change in schedule, since apparently Twitch thinks that it's been a year already, giving people a 12-month resub. I don't know physically how. You should be at 11. I started streaming in February. I don't know what that's about. But the reason that's relevant is because I'm not a deer, I'm a deer lady. I did have a plan. Oh, Stream Elements didn't catch up. That's what the problem is with that little thing happening. No, not deer lady. And so I have a plan about my, as far as I'm aware, anniversary. This whole thing seems to think it was a different day, but on February 1st, which was when I thought I started streaming last year, I will be doing an anniversary stream of sorts. I will be reading the Emperor's New Groove script with our lovely friend Vi. So we'll be doing a little collab. We're gonna read the script together. It'll be silly. Um. Oh, rude. There's an ad coming in. I'm warning you right now. It's not. I tried to. It didn't let me skip, and now it's about to go. So I'm warning you right now. Yes. Funny thing about that movie is it didn't really get a proper script. Like, they didn't follow a script into it when they were talking. Things kind of got thrown together as they did it. At least that's, the word. Um, and so how do we have a script to read? Funny you ask. I transcribed it. I watched the movie a bunch of times and made it myself. So there you go. That's what we'll be doing. Since Vi's been doing Shrek script reads, I don't want to exactly do the Shrek, but I will do a script read with her, and it'll be a fun little anniversary. Because that is a Saturday and not my normal day, my current plan is to have the day after, the Sunday, off, but then go back Monday, Tuesday. But the whole February schedule will be up by the end of this month. I just wanted to give the extra warning for our fun little anniversary time. Oh, and now I see the ad is going. Hey, great. You're an asshole. Alright. I once transcribed a conversation from one of my favorite games for Vi to read. Reader dedication to the new little Hunchback. Well, it's been a passion project. It's a very fun movie, and it's got lots of good gags. So yeah, I've got it all transcribed. Now let's see if I can fix. Hello? You're not even the right. Are you right? No, you're the one. I can't even tell which one of these freaking things is my chat bubbles. Oh wait, did it update? Okay, it's finally updating. Cage, I finally got your message there. Woo! Okay. Somebody say something else. I think it's fixed itself. That or I barely hit a button that worked. Okay. Hey, it works! It works! Oh, I'm so pleased. Okay, great. Alright, with that tech issues out of the way and the fun announcement being said, I will get started on our first story. As usual, you can drop redeems and I will get to them between stories. This one isn't insanely long. I plan for us to just read through it, and we'll have to do an ad break sooner than I would have liked because chaos. But yeah, we will get started. Alright, so the first one we have up, it is the next story in the 1001 Nights, the Arabian Nights tale. It is, where's our buttons? It is the Little Hunchback. Heck of a name. Alright. Are you cozy? Get cozy. Okay. In the kingdom of Kashgar, which is, as everybody knows, situated on the frontiers of the Great Tartary, I do not, and I'm probably not saying these things correctly. Anyway, there lived long ago a tailor and his wife who loved each other very much. One day, when the tailor was hard at work, a little hunchback came and sat at the entrance of the shop, and began to sing and play his tambourine. The tailor was amused with the antics of the fellow, and thought he would take him home to divert his wife. Divert his wife from what? The hunchback, having agreed to his proposal, the tailor closed his shop, and they set off together. When they reached the house, they found the table ready laid for supper, and in a very few minutes all three were sitting before a beautiful fish, which the tailor's wife had cooked with her own hands. But unluckily the hunchback happened to swallow a large bone, and in spite of all the tailor and his wife could do to help him, died of suffocation in an instant. What? What the hell? This story is named after the guy that's just suddenly died? What the heck is this? This is not feeling like our 1001 Night stories at all. They're supposed to go on forever. What the heck is this? Okay. What? Besides being very sorry for the poor man, the tailor and his wife... Yeah, that's why you debone your fish. Come on, guys, be careful. Thanks, dude. Hi. Despite of all the... No, where was I? In spite of all the tailor and his wife could do to help him, besides being very sorry, the tailor and his wife were very much frightened on their own account, for if the police came to hear if the worthy couple ran the risk of being thrown into prison for hear of it, the worthy couple ran the risk of being thrown into prison for willful murder. People would think that you murdered him intentionally for that? Also, why are we calling them worthy? Worthy of what? What is going on? Okay. In order to prevent this dreadful calamity, they both set about inventing some plan which would throw suspicion on someone else, and at last they made... Oh my God, you assholes! They made up their minds that they could do no better than select a Jewish doctor who lived close by as the author of the crime. What in the fuck? This story is not nice. I don't like this one. What the hell are you doing? Also, brace yourselves. I don't think they've written it very nicely. I'm nervous about it. What the hell? Okay. Why? So the tailor picked up the hunchback by his head while his wife took his feet and carried him to the doctor's house. Then they knocked at the door, which opened straight on to a steep staircase. The servant soon appeared, feeling her way down the dark staircase, and inquired what they wanted. "Tell your master," said the tailor, "that we have brought a very sick man for him to cure. And," he added, holding out some money, "give him this in advance so that he may not feel he is wasting his time." Okay. The servant remounted the stairs to give the message to the doctor, and the moment she was out of sight, the tailor and his wife carried the body swiftly after her, propped it up at the top of the staircase, and ran home as fast as their legs could carry them. Oh my God. Now the doctor was so delighted at the news of a patient, for he was young and had not many of them. "Oh, he's new. Don't do this to me. Oh my God." That he was transported with joy. "Get a light," he called to the servant, "and follow me as fast as you can." And rushing out of his room, he ran towards the staircase. There he nearly fell over the body of the hunchback, and without knowing what it was that gave him such a kick that it rolled right to the bottom, and very nearly dragged the doctor after it. "A light, a light," he cried again, and when it was brought and he saw what he had done, he was almost beside himself with terror. Oh my gosh. I think I know where this is going now. Oh my gosh. Okay. "Holy Moses," he exclaimed. "Why did I not wait for the light? I have killed the sick man whom they brought me, and if the sacred ass of Esdras does not come to my aid, I am lost." This is not a bedtime story. Well, to remind y'all, if we've forgotten now, this whole book is Andrew Lang's summarized and sanitized version of the stories, but it's a collection of stories that the one lady was telling her new husband so that the husband didn't just bed her and then kill her, because that's what he had been doing to all of his new wives. He was going through them a woman a day, and she was like, "Actually, my young sister, can she stay with us?" He's like, Sure. And then she's like, "Oh, my young sister, she wants a bedtime story. Sorry, we got to do that." And then the new husband was listening as well, and he'd be like, "Oh, well, now I want to hear the rest of the story." And so that's how she earned herself another safe night every time. So he just like these are not meant to really help you fall asleep. They're meant to excite you so that storyteller isn't killed for it. Yay! Um, the the guy was yelling about some donkey, the ass of Esdras. Yes, does not come to my aid. I'm lost. It will not be long before I am led to jail as a murderer. Agitated though he was, and with reason, the doctor did not forget to shut the house door, lest some passers-by might chance to see what had happened. He then took up the corpse and carried it to his wife's room, nearly driving her crazy with fright. "It's all over with us," she wailed, "if we cannot find some means of getting the body out of the house. Once let the sun rise, and we can hide it no longer. How were you driven to commit such a terrible crime?" He didn't. "Never mind that," returned the doctor. "The thing is to find a way out of it." For a long while the doctor and his wife continued to turn over in their minds a way of escape, but could not find any that seemed good enough. At last the doctor gave it up altogether and resigned himself to bear the penalty of his misfortune. But his wife, who had twice his brains, suddenly exclaimed, "I have thought of something. Let us carry the body on the roof of the house and lower it down the chimney of our neighbor the Mussulman." Mussulman spelled Mussulman. Not sure what Mussulman is, but okay. Now this Mussulman was employed by the Sultan and furnished his table with oil and butter. Part of his house was occupied by a great storeroom where rats and mice held high revel. The doctor jumped at his wife's plan, and they took up the hunchback, and passing cords under his armpits, they let him down into the purveyor's bedroom so gently that he really seemed to be leaning against the wall. When they felt he was touching the ground, they drew up the cords and left him. Scarcely had they got back to their own house when the purveyor entered his room. He had spent the evening at a wedding feast. And had a lantern in his hand. In the dim light it cast, he was astonished to see a man standing in his chimney. But being naturally courageous, he seized a stick and made straight for the supposed thief. "Ah!" he cried, "so it is you and not the rats and mice who steal my butter. I'll take care that you don't want to come back." And so saying, he struck him several hard blows. The corpse fell on the floor, but the man only redoubled his blows, till at length it occurred to him it was odd that the thief should lie so still and make no resistance. God, how long was he beating this guy? Oh my gosh. Ooh. Oh, I'm focusing. I tend to do this. I'm skipping ahead and reading in my head very quickly to somewhere random, and I need to focus. Oh, okay, Adon. Go eat. Take care of yourself. It's very nice to see you while we could. Bye-bye. Need a drink. Where was... Oh. Alright. Weird that he wasn't moving. That's what it is. I'm VOD Watcher. Well, thank you very much. Which reminds me, please, everybody, remember that I have the VODs up on my YouTube channel. Please go check out the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, those things. I have all the VODs go up. I have some ASMR triggers for like 5 and 10 minutes long over there. If you really like one trigger, you want to listen to it. And I have my origami how-to videos, so please check them out. And if you're listening to me saying this on YouTube right now, Like and subscribes, please. Thank you. Bye. Okay. Uh, After that, ad from myself to myself. Moving on. Then, finding he was quite dead, the muscle man. I wonder if they mean like Muslim. Is this what they mean? Like I don't. I've never heard of this wording. But okay. Um, he's beating the guy that he thinks has been stealing his butter, which was actually just rats, and it's the dead body that looks like it's just a dude. He's beating a dead body for whatever reason, and he realizes, wait a minute. Then finding he was quite dead, a cold fear took possession of him. Wretch that I am, said he, I have murdered a man. Ah, my revenge has quite gone too far. Without the help of Allah, I am undone. Cursed be the goods which have led me to my ruin. And already he felt the rope round his neck. But when he had got over the first shock, he began to think of some way out of the difficulty, as everyone else before him has. And seizing the hunchback in his arms, he carried him out into the street, and leaning him against the wall of a shop, he stole back into his own house, without once looking behind him. A few minutes before the sun rose, a rich Christian merchant who supplied the palace with all sorts of necessaries, left his house after a night of feasting to go to the bath. Though he was very drunk, he was yet sober enough to know that the dawn was at hand, and that all good Mussulmen would shortly be going to prayer. So he hastened his steps lest he should meet someone on his way to the mosque, seeing his condition, would send him to prison as a drunkard. Oh, he would go to prison for being drunk. Oh no. So he couldn't let anybody see him. Anyway, in his haste, he jostled against the hunchback, who fell heavily upon him, and the merchant, thinking he was being attacked by a thief, knocked him down with one blow of his fist. He then called loudly for help, beating the fallen man all the while. The chief policeman of the quarter came running up and found a Christian ill-treating a Mussulman. What are you doing? He asked indignantly. He tried to rob me, replied the merchant, and very nearly choked me. Yeah, I'm sure he did, bud. Well, you have had your revenge, said the man, catching hold of his arm. Come, be off with you. And dude better move it, 'cause if he sticks around, the policeman, I guess, will take him to prison for being drunk. As he spoke, he held out his hand to the hunchback to help him up, but the hunchback never moved. Oh, he went on, looking closer. So this is the way a Christian has the impudence to treat a Mussulman. And seizing the merchant in a firm grasp, so he did go back to the merchant. He took him to the inspector of police, who threw him into prison, till the judge should be out of bed and ready to attend to his case. All this brought the merchant to his senses, but the more he thought of it, the less he could understand how the hunchback could have died merely from the blows he had received. The merchant was still pondering on this subject when he was summoned before the chief of police and questioned about his crime, which he could not deny. As the hunchback was one of the Sultan's private jesters... Oh, wow, yeah. Y'all killed the wrong hunchback. The chief of police resolved to defer sentence of death until he had consulted his master. He went to the palace to demand an audience and told his story to the Sultan, who only answered, "There is no pardon for a Christian who kills a Mussulman. Do your duty." So the chief of police ordered a gallows to be erected and sent criers to proclaim in every street in the city that a Christian was to be hanged that day for having killed a Mussulman. When all was ready, the merchant was brought from prison and led to the foot of the gallows. The executioner knotted the cord firmly round the unfortunate man's neck and was just about to swing him into the air when the Sultan's purveyor dashed through the crowd and cried, panting, to the hangman, "Stop, stop, don't be in such a hurry. It was not he who did the murder. It was I." The chief of police, who was present to see that everything was in order, put several questions to the purveyor, who told him the whole story of the death of the hunchback and how he had carried the body to the place where it had been found by the Christian merchant. Wait, wasn't the purveyor the first guy? He wasn't the guy right before the Christian. Oh, no, he was. The purveyor was the last guy. So the purveyor says, no, it's me. I was like, which way are we wrapping this up? We're gonna see everybody admit it individually. I was like, did the first guy somehow know about all the others? No. Okay. He put several questions to the purveyor, who told him the whole story of how it had been found by the Christian merchant. "You are going," he said to the chief of police, "to kill an innocent man, for it is impossible that he should have murdered a creature who is dead already. It is bad enough for me to have slain a Mussulman without having it on my conscience that a Christian who is guiltless should suffer through my fault." Now the purveyor's speech had been made in a loud voice and was heard by all the crowd, and even if he had wished it, the chief of police could not have escaped setting the merchant free. "Loose the cords from the Christian's neck," he commanded, turning to the executioner, "and hang this man in his place, seeing that by his own confession he is the murderer." The hangman did as he was bid and was tying the cord firmly when he was stopped by the voice of the Jewish doctor, beseeching him to pause, for he had something very important to say. When he had fought his way through the crowd and reached the chief of police, "Worshipful sir," he began, "this Mussulman whom you desire to hang is unworthy of death. I alone am guilty. Last night a man and a woman who were strangers to me knocked at my door, bringing with them a patient for me to cure. The servant opened it, but having no light was hardly able to make out their faces, though she readily agreed to wake me and hand me the fee for my services. While she was telling me her story, they seemed to have carried the sick man to the top of the staircase and left him there. I jumped up in a hurry without waiting for a lantern." I'm confused why we didn't let I'm just interrupting, Andrew Lang or the original author. They just summarized that the purveyor gave the story, but for whatever reason, the doctor gets to give his whole speech. Just realizing that. Why do you get to have a big chat? Okay. Left him there. I jumped up in a hurry, waiting for a lantern, and in the darkness, I fell against something which tumbled headlong down the stairs and never stopped till it reached the bottom. When I examined the body, I found it was quite dead, and the corpse was that of a hunchback Mussulman. Terrified at what we had done, my wife and I took the body on the roof and let it down the chimney of our neighbor, the purveyor, whom you were just about to hang. The purveyor, finding him in his room, naturally thought he was a thief, and struck him with such a blow that the man fell down and lay motionless on the floor. Stooping to examine him and finding him stone dead, the purveyor supposed that the man had died from the blow he had received, but, of course, this was a mistake, as you will see from my account, and I only am the murderer. And although I am innocent of any wish to commit a crime, I must suffer for it all the same, or else have the blood of 2 Mussulmans on my conscience. Therefore send away this man, I pray you, and let me take his place, as it is I who am guilty." On hearing the declaration of the Jewish doctor, the chief of police commanded that he should be led to the gallows and the Sultan's purveyor go free. The cord was placed around... We'll just say the cord was placed around the doctor's neck, and his feet had already ceased to touch the ground. Oh! How were they doing the hangings? Was it drop floor? Was it jump down? Was it lift slightly? The way you're saying it is... What do you mean his feet were already off the ground? And yet we haven't gotten to the last people. Oh, okay. I'm assuming it's a step down so that it's not a broken neck situation. We can interrupt kind of situation. Let's hope. Okay. All right. His feet were already off the ground when the voice of the tailor was heard beseeching the executioner to pause one moment and listen to what he had to say. "Oh, my lord," he cried, turning to the chief of police, "how nearly have you caused the death of 3 innocent people? But if you will only have the patience to listen to my tale, you shall know who is the real culprit. How in the hell are you going to sit here and tell me that the police officer is the one who is going to cause the death of these people? You're the one that started this whole shebang, you nonsense man. You're the one that decided to blame someone else. You knew what was at stake. You're just feeling guilty for it now." Okay. "If you only have patience to listen, you shall know who is the real culprit. If someone has to suffer, it must be me. Yesterday at dusk, I was working in my shop with a light heart." Oh no! Big yawn. I was working in my shop with a light heart when the little hunchback, who was more than half drunk, came and sat in the doorway. He sang me several songs, and then I invited him to finish the evening at my house. He accepted my invitation, and we went away together. At supper, I helped him to a slice of fish, but in eating it, a bone stuck in his throat, and in spite of all we could do, he died in a few minutes. We felt deeply sorry for his death, but fearing lest we should be held responsible, we carried the corpse to the house of the Jewish doctor. I knocked and desired the servant to beg her master to come down as fast as possible and see a sick man whom we had brought for him to cure. And in order to hasten his movements, I placed a piece of money in her hand as the doctor's fee. Directly she had disappeared, I dragged the body to the top of the stairs and then hurried away with my wife back to our house. In descending the stairs, the doctor accidentally knocked over the corpse, and finding him dead, believed that he himself was the murderer. But now you know the truth. Set him free, and let me die in his stead." The chief of police and the crowd of spectators were lost in astonishment at the strange events to which the death of the hunchback had given rise. "Loosen the doctor," said he to the hangman, "and string up the tailor instead, since he has made confession of his crime. Really, one cannot deny that this is a very singular story, and it deserves to be written in letters of gold." It is. You're not wrong. It deserves to be written in letters of gold. As in, someone needs to be talking about this. Oh gosh, I think we're gonna get one more thing. Oh, I'm excited for one more layer. I get the feeling that we're gonna get one last piece that is like, so he actually didn't die, the fishbone? Kind of a thing. Okay. The executioner speedily untied the knots which confined the doctor and was passing the cord round the neck of the tailor when the Sultan of Kashgar, who had missed his jester, happened to make inquiry of his officers as to what had become of him. So when we had the police officer said that he asked the Sultan, "What do you want with me to do to this guy?" And the Sultan responded, a Christian cannot get away with killing a Mussulman, kind of a thing. And I'm like, police officer, when you described this to the Sultan, because the Sultan employed this jester directly, did you only describe him as a Mussulman? Whatever the Mussulman thing is, which I think is a Muslim, like, I think they're trying to say Muslim, but, old words or words I don't know. Is that why we care about some but not all of these people's religious status? Like, what? Why? What do you mean the Sultan is now missing his jester and asking what happened? The police officer asked you about it. What do you mean? Did he really not say that part? Oh my gosh. So he happened to make inquiry of his officers as to what had happened to him. "Sire," replied they, "the hunchback, having drunk more than was good for him, escaped from the palace and was seen wandering about the town, where this morning he was found dead. A man was arrested for having caused his death and held in custody till the gallows was erected. At the moment that he was about to suffer punishment, first one man arrived and then another, each accusing themselves of the murder. And this went on for a long time, and at the present instant, the chief of police is engaged in questioning a man who declares that he alone is the true assassin. I don't think any of them accuse themselves of being an assassin, but okay. The Sultan of Kashgar no sooner heard these words than he ordered an usher to go to the chief of police and to bring all the persons concerned in the hunchback's death, together with the corpse that he wished to see again. The usher hastened on his errand, but was only just in time, for the tailor was positively swinging in the air when his voice fell upon the silence of the crowd, commanding the hangman to cut down the body. The hangman, recognizing the usher as one of the king's servants, cut down the tailor, and the usher, seeing the man was safe, sought the chief of police and gave him the Sultan's message. Accordingly, the chief of police at once set out for the palace, taking with him the tailor, the doctor, the purveyor, and the merchant, who bore the dead hunchback on their shoulders. When the procession reached the palace, the chief of police prostrated himself at the feet of the Sultan and related all that he knew of the matter. The Sultan was so much struck by the circumstances that he ordered his private historian to write down an exact amount of what had passed, so that in the years to come the miraculous escape of the 4 men who had thought themselves murderers might never be forgotten. Okay, and then there's just, the Sultan asked everybody concerned in the hunchback's affair to tell him their stories. Among others was a prating barber whose tale of one of his brothers follows. So we have it diverges into the next thing. But unless this is another story for how we thought we killed the hunchback, why are you saying miraculous escape of the 4 men who had thought themselves murderers when we haven't been told how he did die? What? The tailor was the first killer, the fishbone. As far as we know, the true kill, because he was talking to the guy before he passed away. The doctor, who tripped and he went down the stairs. The purveyor, who hit him a couple times in his bedroom because he thought he was a thief who had broken in. And the merchant, who saw him in the street and fought him. Oh, where's the real death then? Story? Is this because Andrew Lang had his fingerprints all on this? Or is this what your normal story was? Either way, I'm not loving it. You missed prime opportunity to give us an explanation. Get the last little twist in there, but you didn't. Okay. What? Okay, the next story is the story of the barber's 5th brother. And it just starts right off the top, as long as our father lived. I think we skipped a few because we have 5th, and then the story after that is 6th brother. Did we miss a story? I think we missed some stories. What did you do, Andrew Lang? Did a little digging. It is another turn for Muslim. Yeah, I could not figure out why they kept calling them Musselmen. Ooh, look at that hunky dude. Kind of thing. But it wasn't spelled that way. It was like, look at that guy weirdly into mollusks. Because like mussels. I don't know what was going on. I'm very confused as to why this just ends with, among others, was a prating barber whose tale of one of his brothers follows. No, it's tale of 2 of his brothers. There's 2 different brothers in 2 different stories, and what the hell does this have to do with our Hunchback at all. I I blame Lang. I blame Andrew Lang. You did whatever you did to these stories, and I don't know what it was. But okay, the next story is the story of the barber's fifth brother, which I have no idea where the context is coming from this. They just tried to shove it in one sentence. It's gotta be that they scrubbed something else away. That must be how that happened, because that is just weird. Alright, alrighty here. And we'll do triggers. Barbers. Fifth brother. Oh, long titles. Here we go. Okay. Are the words gonna end up covering Kiru's face, you think? Poor big Kiru. My big frog, man. You gonna cover your face? Yeah. But let's do triggers first. So let's put that away anyway. Blurp. In the meantime, will do some stretch. Ooh. Okay. I'm unfortunately very eepy. I'm not an hour in, and I could use just stop stream, go bed. But I want to stream. I want to commit to more streaming days. And this is instead, my plan this month has been like just about the average that I have been doing. So I can't go canceling. I have a schedule to follow. I'm doing it. Dang it. Well, I see no redeems. But I can do some of myself. I understand your dedication, but make sure to call it if you get too weepy. Yes. No, this is just like a little bit. Yeah, it's good. Could always do shorter streams. It's true. I plan to do a shorter stream tomorrow, also early in the day. Thank you for the sub! Oh my gosh. I like that you snuck the little message into your resub message there. That's very sweet. Everybody, let's drop some money frogs. I didn't see many money frogs before, but to be fair, that was chaos when the stream was not properly working. Oh, if you're watching this on YouTube, I almost definitely didn't upload the first little bit where we started the stream, but then it was all bad Wi-Fi and there were still some issues, and we had our first 3 subs that are clicked up in the weekly sub goal. It's gotten to 4 now. Cage and Fet for 12 months somehow, despite it being before my 1-year anniversary. I'm very confused. And also, who is the first one? Is it still here? Yeah, it was Rana. I was like, I think. So, we had those, but now we've got our money frogs. Dropping extra ones for that. Alright, I get distracted too easy. Far too easy. Let's do a redeem. One of the ASMR extended triggers on my YouTube channel that did really well was book tappies. Tapping on the back of a hard book. So we're gonna do that. We can add that to the library ASMR sounds collection. We'll have to do that. Modes only, just for Cage. Ooh. To make only Cage do it. I don't think I can hit the buttons, but we can do that to Cage for a little while. For how long, the one game? How long are we punishing my mod? Well, and why? But that one's more rhetorical. Rest of stream. Wow, I think that's a bit long. No, Cage says noted. I think Cage is up for it. Hit us with something that says no if you'd like. Also, I just realized, Cage, is that a new, beautiful, amazing emote that you have? Oh my goodness. You're so chibi. Look at the cutie. Look at the cutie. It's his little guy. Okay. Oh my gosh. If you're up for it, you give me some sort of affirmative emote of any kind. Anybody positive? If you want a shorter time, you can drop pout frog. That means you're up for it, but you want to have a shorter time. Rest of stream is a little long. And of course, I will say, Gam, if there's anything where as a mod Cage needs to step in, I'm gonna say he can break that rule, and he's gonna break that rule if he needs to. Little pouty, just a little pouty. Okay, we'll go a little bit shorter than a full stream, but for a while. Okay, so Gam and I we'll pick a time we release you. Won't be forever. Hi, Frigid. I just saw a post saying that. It kind of is. D&D is math disguised as Skyrim. But you were not late at all. Don't worry about it. You got to miss out on the weird first story and the awful tech hiccups that we had. So probably good timing. I'm gonna do book tappies trigger. Thought you'd repeat the news. All right. I'm gonna do my book tappies trigger. If there's other redeems, please go ahead. And then I'm gonna run an ad. I know, I'm sorry, but I will do that. Ooh, sad Riz. No good Riz. Womp womp. Hey, no, not that. Wrong button. Ah! Okay. Hi, Soyeon. Even worse, Riz. You have half of the already awful frigid Riz. Dang, that's too bad. But welcome in. Hello. Let's do some book tappies. Here we go. Alright, there was our book tappies. Hello, readers! Oh my gosh, load, you little chat. Oh my gosh. Hello, welcome in. There's my little good day welcome message. I love that one. Hi. Hi, Drake. Hi, Blossom. And thank you for reading in, Blossom. I like that emote. You're so cute. Okay, welcome in. Get cozy. I see you were reading. What were you reading, if I may ask? We're about to get into more stories from the Arabian Nights. Ooh. But we're doing triggers right now, so we're just doing a little break. And if either of you have who's that Pokemon? If you have either of you have a trigger that you see that you would like, you can go ahead and let me know. You're new. I know you don't have the ribbits, the channel points for it, so just let me know. I did that one. I have to remember to release it for that. Hi, first reading stream today. Oh wow, well, welcome it. I'm doing some reading story stuff too. What? I just scoured to find a little bean. Aha! I am the bean. I see now. Thank you. Well, I appreciate it. Look at your pretty self. Look at that. So pretty bongos. And a very useful little tail. Do you have little guys attached to everywhere? Cause look, I got little guys stuck on me too. They're not always here. They do not stick around when we're doing spooky story reads. Look at this scrimmed. I love your scrimmed because it can be taken as a happy scrimmed because it's such a triangle mouth. So you could be any kind of scrimmed that you want. That's so cool. I like that art. You are not a Pokemon. You just look. You just look a little bit like one. Frigid, you're so mean. I live in a lake. I bathe plenty regularly. You're so mean. It's just because my little frog buddies are very clingy and very sociable. And sometimes you guys get mad when I don't have my frog buddies. So, they feel like they have to show up now. I guess I better stick to the spooky streams and then you won't see them. And then you won't call me a stinky or any of that, maybe. No, I'll never beat that. You guys mean. Your chat bullies you for being stinky too. I know! People just do that. Oh, we don't need clingy stories. I want to pick another redeem though. Go ahead and message, but I'm gonna pick something else. Do you have a preference? Anybody? Newbies specifically. I know you don't have this stuff. Thank you for the follow, Blossom Arashi. I always say the full name whenever someone's new. So thank you, welcome. And we also send a little dancey. I give you my dance frog. You get the dance frog for your little dancey. Everybody else do a little dance party for welcome. Come on. You regulars know this shit. Hi, Scooby Bobby. Hit us with some dancing. Oh my god. That kind of dancing. Well, look at that. I love the little detail of the little soot fairy on the top of your head is like getting bounced because you're bouncing like a squeak. Oh my gosh. But Scooby, you're good. I do not keep attendance. I'm never gonna be so picky about that. Tom with your window. For a second, those frog boogies weren't loading. I'm glad I saw them. It is unfortunate that I don't have a chat that shows them. I've yet to find one that I properly like, but I should just go for it. Get a new vibe. I should get new art to my stuff, but I have not. Ugh. 35% Riz. Yeah, you could do better, Lahonk. Hi. Your soap is a cat attractant? That sounds kind of perfect. Is this an ad? Did Dial pay you for this? Oh no, my freaking Wi-Fi just did a wibble. I reset you. You're not supposed to be doing this, you little asshole. Wi-Fi, why do you do this to me? Ugh. You couldn't see them either. Yeah, I was like, how did you pull that off? My best friend also has a tiny froge. Odin said all the time, we stand froge in this house. My lovely frogs are called frogs because here at Emerald Lake, unfortunately, as my story I have read goes, a witch was cursing people, turning them into frogs when they didn't do things as she wanted them to, or just when she didn't like somebody. And then she had some magical byproducts, like industrial waste that she was dumping in this lake. Awful. And so it turned all of these frogs, real normal frogs and people she turned into frogs, into radioactive frogs. So they all are neon green with the purple cheeks. They burp weird radioactive bubbles, which would be our radioactive ribbits. And yeah, that's our team. That's our guys. What do you mean lies, Frigid? Arr nar, frogos. Arr nar. Yes, but they're good. They're like these are our buddies. I can introduce. So the big boy on the rock, that's Kiru, as named such by somebody's niece, one of our streamers' nieces apparently. And then on top of my head is Gizmo. Also, everybody on my head and antlers is named by one of our chatters. We got Gizmo, and on this side, that's Gamakichi. I don't know the reference, but I looked it up recently, and now I know. And then Bert and Ernie on that side. That's Bert and Ernie. They're radioactive because Raymond was running a nuclear reactor. Oh my gosh. I would never. Timu. You think I would team up with Timu? No, absolutely not what happened. And ever since I found this poor little team, I have been trying to look after them and clean up the lake and take after them. And I kicked that witch's butt best we could. But if I ever see her again, oh, she gonna get it. We don't put up with that kind of crap here. Yeah. But there's our little frogs. So welcome in. They say hi. I need to run an ad. I have not had any other redeems here. Cage hitting us with Vi's rat. Are you trying to say I should mention Vi? Because yes, Vi, our friend streamer Vi, is in that same witch's old house, apothecary. But she's a good witch, and so she's here. And there was a witch in between the bad witch and her that was living there. That was also not bad, good. But yeah, my little soot fairies are lost souls that take form from my fox butt fluff. Jackals, you think it's butt fluff? I think I might agree. you have so much butt fluff that it turns into peoples. What? I cannot confirm, but it feels unwise to deny. Hey, what are you doing, Cage? Nope. Frigid, we're gonna drop that. Timu gasps. Yeah, I really would never. No, don't take chat side. I just say I can imagine concern. I can't. It sounds like they're sentient dingleberries. So it's hard to take serious. But if you just mean extra fur and not if you just mean extra fur and not specifically fur from your bum, then I can say, oh yeah, it's not as stinky. But if it's just from the bum, they are probably stinky. How often do you clean your little soot fairies? I mean, you call them soot. No. But I cannot confirm I have not smelled you. We have not done sniffs. We have not done stink test. Alright. All of my distractions. Poor Cage right now has been sent into a emote-only jail just for him. Just for him. And we need to release him soon. But I haven't decided exactly when. Okay, Mom. Got a wife and farm to take care of. Well, okay. Go get to farming. You bonk with the handle. Remove the cage from the cage. Okay, Cage, you are released. Boom. You are free. Gam has requested it. Redeem. Fulfilled. Boom. Oh, it got big. You gigantified. Isn't that a monies? Isn't it a monies to do a big? I'm pretty sure it is. So I'm hitting you with a little money frog. Freedom! Yes, you're free. It is a money's. I knew it! Ah! Keep them in the basement. No! No, it's just that we have an emote only redeem when someone's like, shut up, I just want to hear the story. Except we got hit for it to just make only Cage shut up for no particular reason. But Cage has been released. Yay! Very nice. Thank you, Cam. Alright. I have rambled instead of doing a trigger, and I don't mind that. It was a good little break. Did you forget I exist? No. I didn't forget existence. I just didn't think about it. And so my brain half forgets. Out of sight, out of mind, broken brain. I need reminders a lot. Hi, Blossom. Welcome in. I can talk again. If chat is so obsessed with the stinky, you just need to turn it on them. Call them stinkers. 2 years! Incorrect. I know you're just being silly, but incorrect, cause I have not had my 1 year anniversary just yet. I'm going to be joining my friend Vi, as I announced earlier, for a script reading on February 1st for my anniversary. I'm very excited. 5 months, 2 years, same diff. Okay, I'm going to run an ad. We're going to jump into the next story. And there was a third thing, I don't remember. But we're gonna do that. I'm gonna run the ad. Oh my god, I'm gonna cough. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh my gosh. See, you did a 12-month resub, but you haven't even been here 12 months. It's 11 months, 11 days, 20 hours. It's not even been a year. Okay, I'm lactose intolerant, but I'm gonna drive by gas. I love that your take on turn the stink on them was not call them stinky, but just like infect them with your stink. This is so funny. I think that Twitch is saying I paid for my 12th month. Oh, that would get you to February 12th. Yeah, okay. I see now. Yes. Okay. All right. Distractions. Okay, I'm running a 1-minute ad. I'm sorry for those of you that are not subscribed. I'm sorry I have to just deal with it. And then I'm gonna cough, so I'm gonna mute. So nobody's really gonna miss anything. Don't worry. Okay. Bam. Ad will run, and I will shush while I cough. Deal with it with love. Yeah, exactly. Oh, but thank you, Cage. And also Fed, who is asleep or out doing things. I just know had to leave. And also Rana. And then, oh, my brain. It crashed. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Who is other? I'm so sorry. My brain. Oh no. Oh no. Gam! You were the other. My brain is not doing too well. Maybe I should have a loaf on my head. Thank you for your resubs. That's what I was trying to say, but then I forgot. If you were visually in the chat, I would have been like, yeah, but that you were a couple back. Okay. Welcome back from ad. We are jumping into story then. We are all done with the triggers. I'm going to do the next story. It's about the same length. It's the story of the Barber's 5th brother. We have no information about 1 through 4. I guess they don't matter. I don't know what that was about. The story of... No! Why are you being mean to me? OBS, why are you being so mean? Story of The Barbers. Fifth brother. If we can spell. This is totally gonna cover Kiru's face, isn't it? Oh no, not quite. It's just above his head. There we go. I am ready. I have organized my bullshit. Yay. The story of the Barber's fifth brother. No idea why we've jumped ahead to that or how it relates to our last story, but we're gonna go with it. We jump in immediately from, I suppose, the Barber's point of view. I don't know, but it says, as long as our father lived, Al-Nashir was very idle. I'm guessing Al-Nashir is the fifth brother, but I'm not sure. Instead of working for his bread, he was not ashamed to ask for it every evening and to support himself next day on what he had received the night before. When our father died, worn out by age, he only left 700 silver drachmas to be divided amongst us, which made 100 for each son. Al-Nashir, who had never possessed so much money in his life, was quite puzzled to know what to do with it. After reflecting upon the matter for some time, he decided to lay it out on glasses, bottles, and things of that sort, which he would buy from a wholesale merchant. Having bought his stock, he next proceeded to look out for a small shop in a good position, where he sat down at the open door, his wares being piled up in an uncovered basket in front of him, waiting for a customer among the passers-by. In this attitude he remained seated, his eyes fixed on the basket, but his thoughts far away. Unknown to himself, he began to talk out loud, and a tailor whose shop was next door to his heard quite plainly what he was saying. This basket, said Al-Nashir to himself, has cost me 100 drachmas, all that I possess in the world. Now in selling the contents piece by piece, I shall turn 200, and these hundreds I shall again lay out in glass, which will produce 400. By this means I shall in course of time make 4,000 drachmas, which will easily double themselves. When I have got 10,000, I will give up the glass trade and become a jeweler, and devote all my time to trading in pearls, diamonds, and other precious stones. At last, having all the wealth that heart can desire, I will buy a beautiful country house with horses and slaves, and then I will lead a merry life and entertain my friends. At my feasts, I will send for musicians and dancers from the neighboring town to amuse my guests. In spite of my riches, I shall not, however, give up trade till I have amassed a capital of 100,000 drachmas, when, having become a rich man of much consideration, I shall request the hand of the Grand Vizier's daughter, taking care to inform the worthy father that I have heard favorable reports of her beauty and wit, and that I will pay down on our wedding day 3,000 gold pieces. Should the vizier refuse my proposal, which after all is hardly to be expected, I will seize him by the beard and drag him into my house. When I shall have married his daughter, I will give her 10 of the best eunuchs that can be found for her service. Then I shall put on my most gorgeous robes, and mounted on a horse with a saddle of fine gold, and its trappings blazing with diamonds, followed by a train of slaves. Why you have so many? I shall present myself at the house of the Grand Vizier, the people casting down their eyes and bowing low as I pass along, and the foot of the Grand Vizier's staircase I shall dismount, and while my servants stand in a row to right and left, I shall ascend the stairs, at the head of which the Grand Vizier will be waiting to receive me. He will then embrace me as his son-in-law, and giving me his seat, will place himself below me. This being done, as I have every reason to expect, 2 of my servants will enter, each bearing a purse containing 1,000 pieces of gold. One of these I shall present to him, saying, "Here are the 1,000 gold pieces that I have offered for your daughter's hand, and here," I shall continue, holding out the second purse, and another 1,000 to show you that I am a man who is better than his word. After hearing of such generosity, the world will talk of nothing else. And he will keep going. This guy is saying a lot to himself. He's going to keep talking to himself. He's nowhere near done. But I have to say, hello, welcome in. Nice to see you. The whole world will talk of nothing else. I shall return home with the same pomp as I set out, and my wife will send an officer to compliment me on my visit to her father, and I shall confer on the officer the honor of a rich dress and a handsome gift. Should she send one to me, I shall refuse it and dismiss the bearer. I shall never allow my wife to leave her rooms on any pretext whatever without my permission. Yay. And my visits to her will be marked by all the ceremony calculated to inspire respect. I'm not liking this. No establishment will be better ordered than mine, and I shall take care always to be dressed in a manner suitable to my position. In the evening, when we retire to our apartments, I shall sit in the place of honor, where I shall assume a grand demeanor and speak little, gazing straight before me. And when my wife, lovely as the full moon, stands humbly in front of my chair, I shall pretend not to see her. Then her women will say to me, "Respected lord and master, your wife and slave is before you, waiting to be noticed." Yay, we're calling our wife a slave. To be fair, this is all just in this awful delusion of this man, so I'm hoping that the story earns itself back by someone else saying, "And all of that is stupid as hell." But we're not there yet. And it may never happen. We'll see. Waiting to be noticed. She is mortified that you never deign to look her way. She is tired of standing so long. Beg her, we pray you, to be seated. Of course I shall give no signs of even hearing this speech, which will vex them mightily. They will throw themselves at my feet with lamentations, and at length I will raise my head and throw a careless glance at her. Then I shall go back to my former attitude. The women will think that I am displeased at my wife's dress, and will lead her away to put on a finer one, and I on my side shall replace the one I am wearing with another yet more splendid. They will then return to the charge, but this time it will take much longer before they persuade me even to look at my wife. It is as well to begin on my wedding day as I mean to go on for the rest of our lives. Good God, you're awful. The next day she will complain to her mother of the way she has been treated, which will fill my heart with joy. Guy, what the hell? Her mother will come to seek me, and kissing my hands with respect will say, "My lord," for she could not dare to risk my anger by using the familiar title of son-in-law. "My lord, do not, I implore you, refuse to look upon my daughter or to approach her. She only lives to please you and loves you with all her soul." But I shall pay no more heed to my mother-in-law's words than I did to those of the women. Again she will beseech me to listen to her entreaties, throwing herself this time at my feet, but all to no purpose. Is it only repeating for you? What kind of repeating? I doubt. It's just a kind of repetitive story. It's very excessive, but I have to get through. We have to get through all this bullshit. I'm waiting for... This is all him muttering to himself at his stall. I'm waiting for the guy next to him to be like, "Dude, shut up. You're crazy." Repeating a random spot. Uh-oh. Why would it be repeating? If anybody else is having that, uh-oh. But also, if you can hear me, then it's obviously not repeating from when you were having the repeating issue. But I hope it gets sorted. May no more than those. Again she will beseech me to listen to her entreaties, throwing herself this time at my feet, but all to no purpose. Then, putting a glass of wine into my wife's hand, she will say to her, "There, present that to him yourself. He cannot have the cruelty to reject anything offered by so beautiful a hand." And my wife will take it and offer it to me tremblingly, with tears in her eyes. But I shall look in the other direction. God, I'm sorry. And she'll offer it to me tremblingly, with her tears in her eyes, but I will look in the other direction. You're so cringingly cruel. What the hell is this daydream of yours? This will cause her to weep still more, and she will hold out the glass, crying, "Adorable husband." Who would think this adorable? "Never shall I cease my prayers till you have done me the favor to drink." Sick of her importunities, these words will goad me to fury. I shall dart an angry look at her and give her a sharp blow to the cheek, at the same time giving her a kick so violent that she will stagger across the room and fall onto the sofa. What in the fuck? My brother, pursued the barber. Oh, thank goodness. We have a interruption. So the barber, the original storyteller, interrupts to say, my brother, this guy who's doing the daydreaming, was so much absorbed in his dreams that he actually did give a kick with his foot. Which unluckily hit the basket of glass. It fell into the street and was instantly broken into 1,000 pieces. That's the kind of karma you get, you little shit. His neighbor, the tailor, who had been listening to his visions, broke into a loud fit of laughter as he saw this sight. Hell yeah! Yay! Yes! Okay. The guy next door calls him out. Good. You should do. Wretched man, he cried, I guess right after all his laughing is done. You ought to die of shame at behaving so to a young wife who has done nothing to you. You must be a brute for her tears and prayers not to touch your heart. If I were the Grand Vizier, I would order you 100 blows from a bullock whip, and would have you led around the town accompanied by a herald who should proclaim your crimes. The accident, so fatal to all his profits, had restored my brother to his senses, and seeing that the mischief had been caused by his own insufferable pride, he rent his clothes and tore his hair. So your reaction is a big old tantrum. Okay, great, yeah. And lamented himself so loudly that the passers-by stopped to listen. It was a Friday, so these were more numerous than usual. Some pitied Alnaschar, others only laughed at him, but the vanity which had gone to his head had disappeared with his basket of glass, and he was loudly bewailing his folly when a lady, evidently a person of consideration, rode by on a mule. Oh, lady, don't go nowhere near him. He does not want to be a good guy. Oh, God. She stopped and inquired what was the matter and why the man wept. They told her he was a poor man who had laid out all his money on his basket of glass, which was now broken. On hearing the cause of these loud wails, the lady turned to her attendant and said to him, "Give him whatever you have got with you." So she's just so nice, but also has no idea that the reason that he broke it was because he was in this awful daydream that was all about being awful. If you'd known, you probably wouldn't want to help him. The man obeyed and placed in my brother's hands a purse containing 500 pieces of gold. Alnaschar almost died of joy on receiving it. He blessed the lady 1,000 times, and, shutting up his shop, where he had no longer anything to do, he returned home. He was still absorbed in contemplating his good fortune when a knock came to his door, and on opening it, he found an old woman standing outside. I'm going to guess that he's going to be mean to the old woman or not very nice, and then Karma's going to come smashing down on him. I hope that's how that go. My son, she said, I have a favor to ask of you. It is the hour of prayer, and I have not yet washed myself. Let me, I beg you, enter your house and give me water." My brother, although the old woman was a stranger to him, did not hesitate to do as she wished. Oh, good, he's being nicer. It's not where I thought we'd go, but I'm glad for it. He gave her a vessel of water, and then went back to his place and his thoughts. She thirsty, says the one Gam. Sometimes when I read it, your name, it's like I hear Gam, like Gam, like a grandma, or I hear like, look at them Gams, like how old people will refer to legs, and and so the one Gam, I can't decide if you're one grandma or one leg. So for you to say that about the old woman, it's hitting me specifically funny. just a good timing for your particular username to say something. Okay. She just wants to wash her hands. She's not looking to drink. He gave her the water and went back to his thoughts. And with his mind busy over his last adventure, he put his gold into a long and narrow purse, which he could easily carry in his belt. During this time, the old woman was busy over her prayers, and when she had finished, she came and prostrated herself twice before my brother, and then rising, called down endless blessings on his head. Observing her shabby clothes, my brother thought that her gratitude was in reality a hint that he should give her some money to buy some new ones. So he held out 2 pieces of gold. What do you mean a hint? Are you saying that he's just trying to... Oh, that's... I can see where it came from then. There you go. That makes sense. That's funny. Anyway. The idea that he's like, it's a hint, makes me think that he's like gaming this, like trying to get the right result, maybe expecting a reward. I don't like that, but at least he is being generous, because he's like, oh, okay, I'll give you 2 pieces of gold then. The old woman started back in surprise as if she had received an insult. Ooh. Good heavens, she exclaimed, what is the meaning of this? Is it possible that you take me, my lord, for one of those miserable creatures who force their way into homes to beg for alms? Take back your money. I am thankful to say I do not need it, for I belong to a beautiful lady who is very rich and gives me everything I want. Hell yeah, lady. Give him some sass. You didn't ask for shit. To be fair, though, you're apparently wearing rags, so maybe... Oh no, just shabby clothes. That is mean. In my head, I read that quickly and I was like, oh, so she's got bad clothes. But maybe they're just not stylish. Shabby can mean just not stylish. So like, that is an insult. That was rude. That was excessive. That was mean. Sir, what the hell? Okay, my brother was not clever enough to detect that the old woman had merely refused the 2 pieces of money he had offered her in order to get more, but he inquired if she could procure him the pleasure of seeing this lady. Oh, God. Willingly, she replied, and she will be charmed to marry you. Why? And take you the master of all her wealth. So pick up your money and follow me. Ugh, ew. But okay, fine. Delighted at the thought that he had found so easily both a fortune and a beautiful wife, my brother asked no more questions, but concealing his purse with the money the lady had given him in the folds of his dress, he set out joyfully with his guide. They walked for some distance till the old woman stopped at a large house where she knocked. The door was opened by a young Greek slave, and the old woman led my brother across a well-paved court into a well-furnished hall. Here she left him to inform her mistress of his presence, and as the day was hot, he flung himself on a pile of cushions and took off his heavy turban. In a few minutes there entered a lady, and my brother perceived at the first glance that she was even more beautiful and more richly dressed than he had expected. He rose from his seat, but the lady signed to him to sit down again and placed herself beside him. After the usual compliments had passed between them, she said, "We are not comfortable here. Let us go into another room." And passing into a smaller chamber, apparently communicating with no other, she continued to talk to him for some time. Ooh. Then, rising hastily, she left him, saying, Stay where you are. I will come back in a moment. Thank you for the hydrate. Woo, and stretch. Thank you. Both very good ideas. Okay. All right. Automatic yawn after a stretch. Thank you. Stay here where you are. I will come back in a moment, she says. He waited as he was told, but instead of the lady, there entered a huge black slave with a sword in his hand. Approaching my brother with an angry countenance, he exclaimed, "What business have you here?" His voice and manner were so terrific that Al-Nashir had not strength to reply, and allowed his gold to be taken from him, and even saber cuts to be inflicted on him without making any resistance. So he's been slashed up and robbed. Well, damn. As soon as he was let go, he sank on the ground, powerless to move, though he still had possession of his senses. Thinking he was dead, I don't like your word choice there. We're going to say the guy with the knife ordered the other slave to bring him some salt, and between them they rubbed it into his wounds, thus giving him acute agony, though he had the presence of mind to give no sign of life. Then they left him, and their place was taken by the old woman, who dragged him to a trap door and threw him down into a vault filled with the bodies of murdered men. Damn. What was this trap? Old lady, were you going to do that no matter who you went to get water, as long as you could convince them to leave? Was the mentioning your lady just the trap to get men over? Why? Why are we murdering the men? I'm not going to judge you just yet, I guess. No. What? Why? What's going on? Why is this whole house doing this? At first, the violence of his fall caused him to lose consciousness, but luckily the salt which had been rubbed into his wounds had by its smarting preserved his life, and little by little he regained his strength. At the end of 2 days he lifted the trapdoor during the night and hid himself in the courtyard till daybreak. Then he saw the old woman leave the house in search of more prey. Luckily she did not observe him, and when she was out of sight, he stole from this nest of assassins and took refuge in my house. So his brother's house, the barber's house. I guess Barber. I dressed his wounds and tended him carefully, and when a month had passed, he was as well as ever. His one thought was how to be revenged on that wicked old hag, and for this purpose he had a purse made large enough to contain 500 gold pieces, but filled it instead with bits of glass. Ooh. Why are we blaming the old woman and not maybe the lady of the house who was the bait? Do you somehow not think she's in on it? Do you think because she's pretty she can't be evil? Are we doing that again, where we think that evil equals ugly, ugly equals evil? 'Cause stop. This he tied round him with his sash, and disguising himself as an old woman, would that still be someone that would be prey? I think you need to be an old man. No? Okay. He took a saber which he hid under his dress. One morning, as he was hobbling through the streets, he met his old enemy prowling to see if she could find anyone to decoy. He went up to her, and imitating the voice of a woman, he said, "Do you happen to have a pair of scales you could lend me? I have just come from Persia and have brought with me 500 gold pieces, and I am anxious to see if they are the proper weight. because, he's putting on a dumb voice. Good woman, replied the old hag, you could not have asked anyone better. My son is a money changer. Okay, so she would have said anybody, but all right. And if you will follow me, he will weigh them for you himself. Only we must be quick, or he will have gone to his shop. So saying, she led all the way to the same house as before, and the door was opened by the same Greek slave. Again my brother was left in the hall, and the pretended son appeared from under the form of the black slave. What do you mean by under the form of the other slave? What is going on? Hi, Rose, feel free to lurk. I'm unimpressed with this story's insistence on all these slaves, both in the daydream and this, but Oh, I'm glad you figured out the repeat. I hope you're all caught up. Oh, that sucks. I'm glad you sorted it out. What the hell was it? What made it happen like that? Anyway, okay. So, I'm guessing like out from behind or something. Anyway. Miserable crone, he said to my brother, get up and come with me, and turned to lead the way to the place of murder. Alnature rose too, and drawing the saber from under his dress, dealt with the word choices. I don't like you guys. Dealt with the bigger, scarier guy with such a blow on his neck that his head was severed from his body. My brother picked up the head with one hand and, seizing the body with the other, dragged it to the vault, when he threw it in and sent the head after it. The other slave, supposing that all had passed as usual, shortly arrived with a basin of salt. But when he beheld Alnature with the saber in his hand, she let the basin fall and turned to fly. My brother, however, was too quick for her, and in another instant her head was rolling from her shoulders. These two people are slaves. They might not be this might not have been their choice. Why are you killing them? But I guess the one that's directly threatening you, fair. But like, this girl is just bringing salt. She doesn't. You don't know, or at least we don't know. The noise brought the old woman running to see what was the matter, and he seized her before she had time to escape. Wretch, he cried, do you know me? Who are you, my lord? She replied, trembling all over. I have never seen you before. I am he whose house you entered to offer your hypocritical prayers. Don't you remember me now? She flung herself on her knees to implore mercy, but he cut her in 4 pieces. Well, all right then. There remained only the lady, who was quite ignorant of all that was taking place around her. And the fake son? No? Okay, because there was a guy. There was a guy that popped out and then left. Or maybe a misunderstanding? Are they saying that the guy that had tried to kill him the first time, the slave with the saber, was the guy? Was pretending to be his son? No, he left with the... Oh my gosh. What the hell is with this? And again, we're just assuming the pretty lady is ignorant of all this. And then I guess that's what's happening. Why and how do we know that? And who says that that is actually the way that goes? What in the fuck? Okay. He sought her through the house, and when at last he found her... He sought her? So you're assuming. You don't know anything. I was like, the story is just telling us, and I'm being critical of the story, and then it's actually in the world. This man just assumed it. What the fuck? When he found her, she nearly fainted with terror at the sight of him. She begged hard for life, which he was generous enough to give her, but he bade her tell him how she had got into partnership with the abominable creatures he had just put to death. So we're not calling them people. Lovely. just that with the fact that 2 out of 3 of them were slaves and one of them was a worker of this lady. What the hell? I was once, replied she, the wife of an honest merchant, and that old woman whose wickedness I did not know used occasionally to visit me. Madam, she said to me one day, we have a grand wedding at our house today. If you would do us the honor to be present, I am sure you would enjoy yourself. I allowed myself to be persuaded. Sorry. Put on my richest dress and took a purse with 100 pieces of gold. Once inside the doors, I was kept by force by that dreadful slave that had the saber, that guy. And it is now 3 years that I have been here, to my great grief. So you have a husband somewhere that is a merchant. Are we gonna forget that part? Are we gonna forget that part? And why wasn't he invited? Or was he just away at that time? Okay, so we are saying that it was the guy with the knife that is apparently taking this money in here. And they say that horrible must have amassed great wealth, remarked my brother. So I guess they are saying that he's the one responsible, and I hate that. Because it's very blatantly racist, this little story. Gotta hate that. And why then was he called slave before, and then now he's murderer if he's the one that's in charge of the house? What are you doing? Such wealth, returned she, that if you succeed in carrying it all away, it will make you rich forever. Come and let us see how much there is. Why is this guy getting to be a hero? The way he started this was so awful, and it did not sound like he actually learned his lesson. And then all of this just happened to happen. Whatever. Okay, so let's go get that gold. You'll be rich forever. She led Alnaschar into a chamber filled with coffers packed with gold, which he gazed at with an admiration he was powerless to conceal. Go, she said, and bring men to carry them away. My brother did not wait to be told twice, and hurried out into the streets, where he soon collected 10 men. They all came back to the house, but what was his surprise to find the door open and the room with the chests of gold quite empty. Yeah, the lady had been cleverer than himself, and had made the best use of her time. Good for her. However, he tried to console himself by removing all the beautiful furniture, which more than made up for the 500 gold pieces he had lost. What about the pain and suffering price? I don't think you probably got that back. But you did get to do revenge. Murder. Okay. Unluckily, on leaving the house, he forgot to lock the door. And the neighbors, finding the place empty, informed the police, who next morning arrested Alnaschar as a thief. Oh my God. My brother tried to bribe them to let him off, but far from listening to him, they tied his hands and forced him to walk between them to the presence of the judge. Yeah. When they had explained to the official the cause of the complaint, he asked Alnaschar where he had obtained all the furniture that he had taken to his house the day before. Sir, replied Alnaschar, I am ready to tell you the whole story, but give, I pray you, your word that I shall run no risk of punishment. Why would they do that? You're here for... What do you mean? Just because you tell the story, we're not going to punish you? No. But nope. The judge says, that I promise. I guess he's just more interested in a story than his job. But okay. So my brother began at the beginning and related all his adventures. Do we need to know the part where you tell the awful story while you're daydreaming? I feel like that one's not necessary. And how he had avenged himself on those who had betrayed him. As to the furniture, he entreated the judge at least to allow him to keep part to make up for the 500 pieces of gold which had been stolen from him. The judge, however, would say nothing about this, and lost no time in sending men to fetch away all that Alnaschar had taken from the house. When everything had been moved and placed under his roof, he ordered my brother to leave the town and never more to enter it on peril of his life, fearing that if he returned he might seek justice from the Caliph. Oh, wow. So the judge just stole it back himself. Lovely. Al-Nashir obeyed and was on his way to a neighboring city when he fell in with a band of robbers who stripped him of his clothes and left him naked on the roadside. Hearing of his plight, I hurried after him to console him for his misfortunes and to dress him in my best robe. I then brought him back disguised under cover of night to my house, where I have since given him all the care I bestow on my other brothers. Do you live with all of your brothers, buddy? We're about to read the next story, is the sixth brother, which is the last brother, but we didn't get any stories about 1 through 4. Those brothers are ignored for whatever reason. Andrew Lang didn't want to tell those stories, I guess, or maybe they never existed, I don't know. But, what the hell was that story? I guess he got his... Oh, sorry, bonking mic. I guess he got his kind of balance from dreaming up riches so much you get nothing, maybe, is what they were trying to say. I don't know what to think of that one. Just wild story. I mean, if I was that guy, when the lady said, go get 10 men to carry stuff back, I'd be like, we killed the people that lived here. Why don't we just live here? Like, right? Like, he'd probably just be like, oh, no. How about you go back to your husband? Okay, we can split the money. You suffered too. And I don't want you to stop me, but how about you go back to your merchant husband, wherever the hell he is, and I'll take this stuff. But I gotta ask, how did she physically, in the time that he went to go collect men, like it wouldn't have taken all that long, I don't think. How did she move all of that gold out of the way? None of it was left. Gold is heavy. Heavy. And there was apparently enough to never be wanting money again. Like, you'd be rich forever. So, how did she, just one person, do that? I would argue that there is more people in the house than they had said, and so she told them, hey, he's on to us, my band of criminals. He didn't think I was in on it, so I told him some crap. We're gonna have to uproot and move. Like, I feel like that was a whole scheme. If we're gonna give them all the same weight, we're not gonna say that, this person was just doing as someone else ordered them because I am a slave. Yeah, they probably would be all looking after each other. I don't know. But good on her. Good. That, or she's superhuman strength and she just carries it all the way. Good for her too there. That'll be fun. The mods in chat don't want to interrupt. Hey, they got other things. They get EP. They got stuff to do. One of them's not in the same time zone. Happy time zone. Is juggling. Yeah. We'll move on to the next story if there's no redeems. But I'll take a minute. Apparently to yawn. And have a little sip. Alright. Yeah, the story of the Barber's sixth brother is next. Yeah. Yeah, the story starts with, there now remains for me to relate to you the story of my sixth brother. What happened to 1 through 4? Maybe they were all really bad guys, and they slowly got less bad. Like, the fifth brother had daydreams of cruelty. Maybe the other ones were really bad. In that case, maybe it's good that they scripted, but like, what the hell happened? Why don't we get to know? Alright, it's in the book. No triggers from anybody. Is everybody asleep? Did I manage to put you all to bed? You know I take that as a compliment, so I hope I have. Alright. Nobody said nothing. We're moving on to the story of the barber's sixth brother. Slightly shorter story for this one. Playing game in background, but still awake. Oh! Well, then I'm happy to be just the audio to go along with things. Enjoy the game. That one game. That one game. Nothing. Just nothing. That's not sus at all. I forget what the question was that I asked that's the response, but I'm reading it as, what are you doing? Nothing. Now you can't say nobody said nothing. Unless we want to pull some Greek myth shit and say that you say you're nobody. But alright. The story of the barber's sixth brother, okay? Let's go. There now remains for me to relate to you the story of my sixth brother, whose name was Shakaback. I could, but I've been reprimanded for such things. Yeah, there are certain twists and pull a Greek myth thing where that would warrant a reprimand from me. You gotta pick the right Greek myths. There are certainly some things I would not commit. Okay, sleep is hitting me. Have a wonderful stream with me. Sounds good, Divad. Eat well. Oh no, Wi-Fi hiccup? Or is it just my end? It is. It's dropped. It's coming up. Rude. Evil. I did say that when I was expecting something to change, we did some help for the Wi-Fi, and so it's mildly better, but it is not yet at its level that I would say that it is fixed. I'm supposed to get a new modem, but I do not has. So yeah, it's a bit difficult to make sure it gets out to an enchanted forest, especially without breaking secrecy and such. It's not easy. Okay, now we leave. All right. Bye-bye. Eat well, Divad. It does look like it's getting better. The good news about the way it's been lately is that it does end up doing a little bit better. Oh, thank you for lurk. Thank you. All right. I was talking about the barber's last brother. Yeah. Okay. Shakaback. Hell of a name. Shacabac. Shakaback. It's a very... I'm forgetting the word. I don't know the word. I'm forgetting where. It's very fun to say. I would have described that differently if I remembered the word I want to think of, but I don't have enough brain. So here we go. Shakaback. Like the rest of us, he inherited 100 silver drachmas from our father, which he thought was a large fortune. But through ill luck, he soon lost it all and was driven to beg. Sounds like the last brother a little bit too. As he had a smooth tongue and good manners, he really did very well in his new profession, and he devoted himself specially to making friends with the servants in big houses so as to gain access to their masters. One day he was passing a splendid mansion with a crowd of servants lounging in the courtyard. He thought that from the appearance of the house it might yield him a rich harvest, so he entered and inquired to whom it belonged. "My good man, where do you come from?" replied the servant. "Can't you see for yourself that it can belong to nobody but a Barmecide?" Barmecide. What is a Barmecide? For the Barmecides were farmed for their liberality and generosity. Famed, not farmed. I was like, what? What do you mean they were farmed? What? Raven, you're just bad at reading right now. It's fine. Barmecides were famed for their liberality and generosity. My brother, hearing this, asked the porters, of whom there were several, if they would give him alms. They did not refuse, but told him politely to go in and speak to the master himself. My brother thanked them for their courtesy and entered the building, which was so large that it took him some time to reach the apartments of the Barmecide. At last, in a room richly decorated with paintings, he saw an old man with a long white beard sitting on a sofa, who received him with much kindness, that my brother was emboldened to make his petition. "My lord," he said, "you behold in me a poor man, who only lives by the help of persons as rich and generous as you." Before he could proceed further, he was stopped by the astonishment shown by the Barmecide. "Is it possible," he cried, "that while I am Baghdad, a man like you should be starving? That is a state of things that must at once be put an end to. Never shall it be said that I have abandoned you, and I am sure that you, on your part, will never abandon me." "My lord," answered my brother, "I swear that I have not broken my fast this whole day." "What, are you dying of hunger?" exclaimed the Barmecide. "Here, slave, bring water, that we may wash our hands before meat." No slave appeared, but my brother remarked that the Barmecide did not fail to rub his hands as if the water had been poured over them. Then he said to my brother, Why don't you wash your hands too?" And Schacabac, supposing that it was a joke on the part of the Barmecide, though he could see none himself, drew near and imitated his motion. All right, the honk. Thank you for lurk. Get some good eeps. Rest well. All right. Bit odd. When the Barmecide had done rubbing his hands, he raised his voice and cried, "Set food before us at once. We are very hungry." No food was brought, but the Barmecide pretended to help himself from a dish, and carry a morsel to his mouth, saying as he did so, "Eat, my friend, I entreat. Help yourself as freely as if you were at home. For a starving man, you seem to have a very small appetite." "Excuse me, my lord," replied Schacabac, imitating his gestures as before. "I really am not losing time, and I do full justice to the repast." I have no idea. I don't understand what those words were supposed to say. But anyway, "How do you like this bread?" asked the Barmecide. "I find it particularly good myself." "Oh, my lord," answered my brother, who beheld neither meat nor bread, "never have I tasted anything so delicious." "Eat as much as you want," said the Barmecide. "I bought the woman who makes it for 500 pieces of gold, so that I might never be without it." "Sir, I think you got, Emperor's new clothes, did. Don't think you really got what you paid for." After ordering a variety of dishes, which never came, to be placed on the table, and discussing the merits of each one, the Barmecide declared that, having dined so well, they would now proceed to take their wine. To this my brother at first objected, declaring that it was forbidden, but on the Barmecide insisting that it was out of the question that he should drink by himself, he consented to take a little. The Barmecide, however, pretended to fill their glasses so often that my brother feigned that the wine had gone into his head, and struck the Barmecide such a blow on his head that he fell to the ground. Indeed, he raised his hand to strike him a second time, but when the Barmecide cried out that he was mad, upon which my brother controlled himself, and apologized and protested that it was all the fault of the wine he had drunk. At this the Barmecide, instead of being angry, began to laugh, and embraced him heartily. "I have long been seeking," he exclaimed, "a man of your description, and henceforth my house shall be yours. You have had the good grace to fall in with my humor and pretend to eat and drink when nothing was there. Now you shall be rewarded by really good supper." So, all that time, he was not an insane old man. He knew what was happening. He was playing a joke, and he was glad that someone went with it. Then he clapped his hands, and all the dishes were brought that they had tasted in imagination before. And during the repast, slaves sang and played on various instruments, All the while, Shakaback was treated by the Barmecide as a familiar friend and dressed in a garment out of his own wardrobe. 20 years passed by, and my brother was still living with the Barmecide, looking after his house and managing his affairs. At the end of that time, his generous benefactor died without heirs, so all his possessions went to the prince. Who's the prince? They even despoiled my brother of those that rightly belonged to him. Greedy little prince. And he, now as poor as he had ever been in his life, decided to cast in his lot with a caravan of pilgrims who were on their way to Mecca. Unluckily, the caravan was attacked and pillaged by the Bedouins, and the pilgrims were taken prisoners. Damn it! My brother became the slave of a man who beat him daily, hoping to drive him to offer a ransom, although, as Shakaback pointed out, it was quite useless trouble, as his relations were as poor as himself. At length the Bedouin grew tired of tormenting and set him on a camel to the top of a high barren mountain. How ominous. You think that sounds ominous, the way it says taking a rest around the lake? What do you mean? I know, I can see it. I still think it's relatively good. I got distracted though. Bedouin got tired of tormenting, sent him on a camel to the top of a high barren mountain, where he left him to take his chance. A passing caravan, on its way to Baghdad, told me where he was to be found, and I hurried to his rescue and brought him in a deplorable condition back to the town. So once again, the barber has found his brother to help him in. It is the silly alert command bug. How it just says it is resting along the lake. Oh. I didn't even, because I'm so used to, yeah, that's what it says. Blank is taking a rest. I didn't even read it. I just assumed it said LaHonk. I just skimmed over it. No, you're 1,000% right. It is taking a rest around the lake is terrifying. What is it? What is it? What's in the lake? Oh no, at least it's resting. Nobody wake it. Alright, maybe it's just Nessie. Maybe. But I don't like it pronouns too much. For any beings, I think I'd probably call Nessie. Wait, what gender is Nessie supposed to be? I assume she. No? Anyway. This, continued the barber, is the tale I related to the Caliph, who, when I had finished, burst into fits of laughter. What Caliph? What barber? The guy. Okay, so this is now all the way back to the first one that we told, the Little Hunchback. The barber guy was one of the people who thought they had killed him, but why were we talking about him? Anyway, okay. And Caliph dude was thinking all about that. This is what I told the Caliph, who, when I finished, burst into fits of laughter. Well, you were called the Silent, said he. No name was ever better deserved, but for reasons of my own, which it is not necessary to mention, I desire you to leave the town and never come back. Why are we to never come back? And what do you mean, the Silent? Are you saying because it's ironic to call him silent after he's apparently told 6 stories of his brothers? Why is it funny? Okay. I had, of course, no choice but to obey, and traveled about for several years until I heard of the death of the Caliph, when I hastily returned to Baghdad, only to find that all my brothers were dead It was at this time that I rendered to the young cripple, who the hell is this? The important service of which you have heard, and for which, as you know, he showed such profound ingratitude that he preferred rather to leave Baghdad than to run the risk of seeing me. What do you mean that we know? No, we don't. We have been given no information. What the hell is going on? Okay. I sought him long from place to place, but it was only today, when I expected at least, that I came across him, as much irritated with me as ever. So saying, the tailor went on to relate the story of the lame man and the barber, which has already been told. When the barber, he continued, had finished his tale, he came to the conclusion that the young man had been right when he had accused him of being a great chatterbox. When did we I don't know what's happening. However, we wished to keep him with us and share our feast, and we remained at the table till the hour of afternoon prayer. Then the company broke up, and I went back to work in my shop. It was during this interval that the little hunchback... Okay, this is the tailor describing the barber somehow involved in all of this. I guess there was a caliph. I think the part where the tailor is talking to the sultan about things kind of got skimmed over or removed. Maybe it's just Nessie. Oh, yeah, sorry. No, brain. Something got removed. I don't know where we are lacking, but okay. Taylor is telling the story somehow of the barber who was telling the story of the kids, the brothers. Going through all of those. Being weird. And now we're in the time that we were talking about this. So I guess he would have been telling the story of the barber. That was what he was doing just before he went back to his shop. And it was during this interval, going back to his shop, I guess, that the little hunchback, half drunk already, presented himself before me, singing and playing on his drum. I took him home to amuse my wife, and she invited him to supper. While eating some fish, a bone got into his throat, and in spite of all we could do, he died shortly. It was all so sudden that we lost our heads, and in order to divert suspicion from ourselves, we carried the body to the house of a Jewish physician, the doctor. He placed it in the chamber of the purveyor, and the purveyor propped it up in the street, where it was thought to have been killed by the merchant. This, sire, is the story which I was obliged to tell to satisfy your highness. It is now for you to say if we deserve mercy or punishment, life or death. The Sultan of Kashgar listened with an air of pleasure which filled the tailor and his friends with hope. I must confess, he exclaimed, that I am much more interested in the stories of the barber and his brothers, and of the lame man, than in that of my own jester. But before I allow you all four to return to your homes, and have the corpse of the hunchback properly buried, I should like to see this barber who has earned your pardon. And as he is in this town, let us usher go with you at once in search of him. When did we start talking about the fucking barber? Why do we care about a barber? The usher and the tailor soon returned, bringing with them an old man who must have been at least 90 years of age. "Oh, silent one," said the Sultan, "I am told that you know many strange stories." I guess her barber. "Will you tell some of them to me?" "Never mind my stories for the present," replied the barber, "but will your highness graciously be pleased to explain why this Jew, this Christian, and this Muslim, as well as this dead body are all here?" "What business is that of yours?" asked the Sultan with a smile, but seeing that the barber had some reasons for his question, he commanded that the tale of the hunchback should be told him. "It certainly is most surprising," cried he when he had heard it all, "but I should like to examine the body." He then knelt down and took the head on his knees, looking at it attentively. We're going to find out that it wasn't even the bone. Okay. No. No. I look ahead. He then knelt down, took the hand in his knees, looking at it attentively. Suddenly he burst into such loud laughter that he fell right backwards, and when he had recovered himself enough to speak, he turned to the Sultan. "The man is no more dead than I am," he said. "Watch me." As he spoke, he drew a small case of medicines from his pocket and rubbed the neck of the hunchback with some ointment made of balsam. Next, he opened the dead man's mouth, and by the help of a pair of pincers drew the bone from his throat. At this, the hunchback sneezed. Not cough? Okay, sneezed, stretched himself, and opened his eyes. So the bone made him fall asleep? What? The Sultan and all those who saw this operation did not know which to admire most. The constitution of the hunchback, who had apparently been dead for a whole night and most of one day, or the skill of the barber, whom everyone now began to look upon as a great man. His Highness desired that the history of the hunchback should be written down, and he placed in the archives beside that of the barber, so that they might be associated in people's minds to the end of time. And he did not stop there, for in order to wipe out the memory of what they had undergone, he commanded that the tailor, the doctor, and the purveyor and the merchant should be clothed in his presence with a robe from his own wardrobe before they returned home. As for the barber, he bestowed on him a large pension and kept him near his own person. So we've rewarded the barber well and kept him near because he's cool. And then the 4 that thought they had killed someone when they hadn't all got to take a nice outfit home. I don't really get that one. But okay. Thank you for Sniff's Redeem. We'll get to that just a sec. I want to go back and try and check if I'm missing somehow. No, it must be the difference between the hunchback to the first brother gotten some info. And then we just skipped all of that. The Little Hunchback ends with the Sultan asked everybody concerning the hunchback to tell their stories. Among others was a prating barber, whose tale of one of his brothers follows. How was the barber related? How was the barber stories at all related? Not even a little bit. I don't understand. Thank you for the redeems, guys. I will do the stretch, posture check, and hydrate right now, and then we'll do sniffs, and then I can bring out Herbert. I'm so lost how this story... What is going on? Hello. Hey. Big stretches. Hold on. You me. Okay. That's a cute lurk right there. It's a nice lurk. Okay, posture and stretches. And now I do hydrate. Alrighty. Sniffs and then Herbert. Actually, I'm gonna... It's just a wild collection of stories. I wonder how many we're gonna get through tonight. The next one is gonna be The Adventures of Prince Kamaral Zaman and the Princess Badura. So we've got a prince and princess story first. Then Noureddin and the Fair Persian, and then it's the classic, the one that people know, Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp. So we'll get to those. Alright. Sniffs time. There we go. lightheaded. Just sniffs doesn't make me as much lightheaded. I've got the good belly control, but when I do bottle blows, that one can make me lightheaded. Because you start accidentally breathing in the air you've already breathed out, kind of a thing. That was no good. Oh, I guess my body still wants me to get oxygen, though, because I'm doing a big yawn. I have Herbert next, our singing frog. Come on out, Herbert. The people be calling. Okay, here we go. Hello, Dodra. Thank you for the resub. It's not quite a proper full year because my anniversary is on February 1st, but supposedly that's the that's how Twitch does it. They just get you they just get you paying for your 12-month kind of a thing. So that will cover you to the anniversary day. It was tricking me up a lot. No, Mick, you may not steal a frog. You little thief. Don't do that. Don't do that. Put him down. Takes you back. Thank you, Kate. Gently put the frog back in the water. But we're doing good, Mick. Sorry, I was playing a frog right then. I couldn't really talk. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. But I'm a little bit eepy. Otherwise, good. Once. It will be on February 10th. Well, there you go. Oh, I'm so excited. I announced it already, but I've said it again. Do you want to cuddle for your time? Oh, well, he loved to cuddle. You can go ahead. Give back for cuddle. But he cannot be taken away. They're all trained to fight back, but they often don't. We'll tell him his activated code, and then the frog will fight you if you try to steal forever. But I am having a stream on February 1st instead of February 2nd. I'll have no stream on the 2nd. With Vi, we're gonna be reading the Emperor's New Groove script, which doesn't exist officially. I transcribed the script myself. I watched it a bunch. Yeah. I actually did this not recently. I did it a while ago. So I can't even really remember what all I've written out, but I did transcribe it. I'm sorry, you've thrown off the Emerald Lakes groove. That sounds fun. I'll definitely need to try catch that stream. I implore you to. Yes, please. But you don't have to. It will be a VOD. It will be up on YouTube, along with my other VODs that are safe for YouTubes. Boop. I already did the singing frog. If we have any other redeems we'd like to do, please say so now in between our stories. I kind of want to just do chatting instead of reading stories a little bit. These stories have kind of pissed me off in pieces. Either because Andrew Lang scrubbed a bunch so the context is gone and I'm feeling lost, or because the people were shitty, or confusing, or there was a good deal of, a healthy dose of racist undertones. Because that's the way that those stories kind of went then. I don't love it. Racist and sexist undertones. The one about trying to daydream about the lady like that. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? And none of you said nothing about it. I think because I said it all. There's not much to say about it. But I was like, what the hell is this? Tuning forks it is. We just have the one note and the one thing. So I probably should edit that and take the S off of it. Tuning fork instead of forks. But yeah. Anyone with tinnitus, I have been told that this is a low enough register that it doesn't set that off. But let me know if that is untrue for you. Here we go. Go get the tuning fork. No idea why, but my brain finished that sentence. A healthy dose of radiation. That's not a good thing to have doses of. Hey. The frogs are okay. No, they're really not. We're radioactive here at the lake. Just a little bit. It's okay. Okay. Thank you for the follow, Nictomancer VT. We're gonna hit you with some dancey emotes. Oh, who am I gonna do? What dancey am I gonna do? I did get this a while ago, Danger Dance, so I'll drop that one. Takes all frogs to cuddle once. Careful, Mick, you're gonna get a good dose of radiation. It's a magical it's not really radiation, but it is a magical bad. It worked like radiation. Oh, long story. Well, okay, here we go. Tune in forks. I'm gonna focus. We'll do this. Let's do this. Okay, here we go. There was our tuning fork. If we have another redeems, I think I do more redeems, chattiness, more of an ASMR stream than reading stream. I think I do wanna do more ASMR than reading tonight. And I may want to end it early, but I just don't really want to. There's also an absurdly long story title for the next story. Oh, and it's a long story. Ugh. No. I has no energy for this. Ugh. We will do that for tomorrow, and we'll probably only get through that one story tomorrow since I wanted it to be a shorter stream. So, yeah. Guess what, guys? We're doing it. Oh, you returned all the frogs. Thank you for put back. Thank you. We're now going to swap into just ASMR. We'll do redeems as people see fit, and I'm going to be chatty. I'm not going to change the title because we still did do those stories. But we're done with that. I'm changing my mind. Screw it. So hellos. Let's be chatty and do triggers. Da 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 da. Put that away. Away. There. Alright. If no one asks for anything, I'll start pulling out redeems myself. Because I know sometimes at this point people are sleepy and not chatty and just lurking. But dang it, I don't want to do the big long story right now. Oh, thank you for posture check. It's a good point. I'm not shrimping, but I could probably look after that. Okay. You give me hug. Thank you for hug. Aww. Oh, that's not how you spell that. Raven, you were going to ruin your hug. Ah. There we go. I hug. I'm in a drifty, floaty state, but I'm trying to at least stay in the area of alertness to be comfy and do my job. You don't have to take your job too seriously. You know, as long as I don't properly pay you, I think it's fair to slack. You can fall asleep on this job. It's okay. With that, I think I will do page flippings. I want to. Yeah. Okay. I'm adjusting. I'll at least let you know if I had it all proper. I'm here for now. Now! NAO now. Okay, thank you, Cage. Let's flip the pages. Flip the pages. We'll start with the little book. Classic little book. Here is a little book. Here's a big book. If nobody else is redeeming anything or says anything, I'm gonna flip through the whole big book. We'll be here a while. This is the night I do it. This is it. Okay. Aw, Gam, you just ruined it. No, origami wrestling sounds good. I will do a short page flip then, so that we get to your origami. Your cat is crazy. What did your kitty do? Is this you laughing at us? Is this you laughing? You little shit. Okay. Here is a big book. She meows at the wall and tries to bite it. I've got a story for Raven reads, speed reads the entire novel in 5 minutes. I wish I could. I knew a cat that would scratch at the walls at spots, like sharpen a nail on a normal, like, plaster wall. It was like, what the heck are you doing? And then they put up these, like, sticker thingies that are gonna be, like, bad texture, so, like, they wouldn't like it on their feet, you know? Like, oh, we don't want the gluey things on our fingers. No. Well, what did that cat do but start licking the glue? That cat was getting high on glue. Oh my god, what the hell? that cat was a time. Good chonkle dude. He is a good time. I just have not seen him. Yummy glue. No! But that is exactly what he did. I'm going to do origami rustling now. We have ruined our shot to flip through the entire book. But I'll do origami rustling. Or not. What just happened? Gives the cat a short time to rave. Party cat. No. That probably wasn't very nice for him. Oh my gosh, did my Wi-Fi just start going mean? Why are you going mean, Wi-Fi? What are you doing? Oh my gosh. I hope it recovers quickly. I hated doing this. Oh, so mean. So mean. Let's get the little basket out. Come here. Come here, come here. Alright. Here we go. Thank you for the follow. Sonrisitas 12. Sonrisitas 12. Thank you for the follow. Everybody gets a dancey. You're gonna get my little bouncy frog. It's not quite a dancey, but I included in that. Everybody else, it's a dance party to welcome in new friends. So do that. I'm sorry my Wi-Fi is not being nice, so it's a bit glitchy. But hopefully it's better shortly. Alright, here we go with origami wrestling. That is not party one, Gam. No. Bad. Bad. Not the right time for murder, frog. Stop it. Okay. No, me? No, me what? No, me stop? Well, fine, then I'll stop doing your trigger. No more origami wrestling. Bam. How about that? Alright. Is there anything else? Do we have anything else? Oh wait, that needs to go in there. Don't forget those. I haven't done origami stream in a while, but Next one of those will be next week. Literally 1 week from now, we'll be back for Origami Hit Camp. Yawned. Ooh, Leapy Raven. Okay. What are we doing? Herbert, you're supposed to look at the wall. Turn around. Can't have your creepy little pervert eyes looking at me. Don't do that. Okay. Yeah, I know what I'll do. Okay. Glass jar tubbies. Here we go. Enjoy so tippy taps. Gives Raven a blue frog. A blue frog? This old guy can't stay here. He's gonna turn green. Any frog that meets this water. The water in Emerald Lake that is still a little bit contaminated. Just because the other frogs here and they're contaminated. They're gonna end up neon green with purple cheeks and things and maybe a little bit sick. So no, you have to take Blue Frog home with you. I'm sorry. I love him. Bye-bye. Okay. I do tippy taps. Here we go. Oh no, Wi-Fi, don't dip. No. It dipped. So evil. So evil. Why is it dip? Why? Why do you do this to me? Whiffy. I just want to stream. Please. So rude. I am actively doing things. Let's see if I can fix in a minor way. You sad? I'm sorry. It's just, yeah. Alternative model that's blue from radiation of forest. It is a thought. It would be pretty. But I am green. And my frogs are very green. Okay. No more tippies. Is that not what it does? That's what it said it's been doing. I think we have to talk to your internet provider and force him to give better internet. Yeah, that would be nice. But there is a fix on its way, hopefully. It's just that it might take a long time, a little bit. But seriously, the previous times that it's done the icky dipping out to the point that it was happening like every other minute, it was still prioritizing audio. People could still hear me. It's just that I get annoyed with it. And so I wanted to keep an eye on it and announce that, yes, I am aware it's happening. If my audio is dipping, please tell me that my audio is doing nonsense, okay? Because that is important information, I think. Right, I do more taps, more tip taps. What should I do next? What should I do next? I have a little knife to sharpen. I will get my knife. I will sharpen my knife. It will be ominous and fun. Okay, I'm gonna go get the knife. It's just a little cheese knife, but it's very dull. It will not cut the cheese. So I has to sharpen. Which is good for you, because I've been told that that is a very popular sound. And then I didn't make it available because I can't just sharpen knives forever. They will eventually be nothing. Hello, Scrammelope. Welcome in. I'm doing my knife art sharpening now. Any redeems, please. Go ahead. But I'm gonna do this one right now. This will go easier like this. I think it is better. I think it is sharper. Everyone is so quiet. I feel so good. If everyone is quiet, they are all wotank, relaxed, or eating. I've done well. I've done well. I think next I will do some humming for a bit. Please, if you have redeems that you would prefer, let me know. Noisy. I like knife sharpening. Well, then I'm glad you came in for that. That was well timed. We have a faux knife sharpening sound, but I have that I want to do. So I have been doing the real one as of late. Alright. What are we gonna do? It looked like I was trying to eat, Chad. What? Oh, comb twing. I can do comb twing. Oh, I didn't even change the thingy. I will hum after. I will do that. That's what I will comb twing and then I can hum after. We'll do that. Okay. Wait, what? Whoa, what did I do? Stop doing things. What is going on? What just happened? Oh, I don't know what's going on. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I click on one thing that was trying to do OBS, and I've done something to chat, and it's off kilter. I don't know what I've done. Mods, can you see if I fucked something up? I have a comb to twing, damn it. I don't know what's happening. Okay. Here we go. Sorry. Okay. Oh, I'm glad you got a screenshot of Raven eating, chat. That's great. I have typing to do next, so I will move on to that one. I assume that my big clicky flaky keyboard is good, but let me know if that little Apple one is better. I'm gonna mute to move the mic though, so hold on a second. I am moving the mic back. I'm muted. Give me a second. Goodness, that took a minute. Alright. You got this screenshot I just posted in the server. You're probably grabbing some of your model froze. Probably me putting or taking my my knife away or putting it away because it's this way. And now it looked like I'm munching on chat. Oh yes, thank you for catching that one, Cage. Yes, they're not on board with the spooky, so they're not here for the spooky stuff. If there's a trigger warning on the video, which I put up for the SCPs because you never know what you're gonna get. We're probably not with our frog friends. The only time that accepted is when I have my trigger warning for the WP Kinsella story times, which we have not done in a while. Because those ones are from the 70s, you know, stuff from a different age. Or the 2-minute mysteries. I could do a few 2-minute mysteries. Anyway, they, you know, when they're from a different era, but it's close enough that it's like, it's not like the fairy tales where there's enough distance where it's easier to be like, weirdos, I don't even understand what's going on. This one's just like, oh, whoa, we all know that word and we don't like it. Kind of a thing. I have to put up little warnings that I might have to stumble around that. I don't think 2-minute mysteries will do that. But, there were like a couple of tiny things. Not safe for frogs. Yeah! Oh, that's SCPs. That's creepypastas. That's cover your ears. Cover your ears, frogs. The spicy stream I read once. We don't do that too much. Oh, how did that... Gosh, what the heck did I futz around with? There was almost another thing that popped up. Ugh. When I messed around, I'll have to double check on all of that in a little bit. You cut up the 2-minute things into YouTube vids as well. I could, but I think that would have me more liable for copyright issues. I think that they are still in the copyright law. I'm not sure. I don't think they're public domain. Ooh. Don't think that they've been escaping. For now, they are just sprinkled in randomly. If someone wanted to make that, maybe I would then, but yeah. I also have lost my access to some stuff for prepping videos like that. I need to get my poop in a pile, my ducks in a row, to get that kind of stuff sorted again, because I haven't. But speaking of, would we rather humming or 2-minute mysteries? Folks? First 2 consecutive responses I will do. I like the emerald green eyes of the model. Thank you. I like them too. She's very difficult to get to blink. See, the eyes didn't fully close. Still. That's just really big squint. What are you doing? There we go. Blinked. I don't blink often. Often when I blink, it comes across as that weird little eye bounce. Like that. It's a blink. Anyway. 2-minute mysteries or humming. Folks. Either way, there will be an ad in maybe 10 minutes. And I think I will wrap up early. That's one for humming. If we get another humming, we go humming. If you don't want to do humming, if you want to know the 2-minute mysteries, you better say so. Mick says, which I cannot read as any one thing or the other. Rage puffing is neither of those things, but it is kind of a vote for more triggers instead of 2-minute mysteries. So I suppose I should do that. Okay. Humming, I think. Okay, then we will. I will start with a rage puff though first, since it's been redeemed. My favorite trigger. I really struggle to get it to blink right while wearing my glasses before getting new lenses. Oh, I imagine that one would be difficult. Yeah. Alright. Oh! We already got 2 for humming. Maybe we can pull off some humming and then one of the 2-minute mysteries. But before anything, we've got rage puffing to do. Here we go. Forgive me, frogs. I rage. I was a couple seconds short, so I added the little. Okay, no more Angie. No more Angie. No more rage. Alright, I will I just got to fix this. Okay. We'll do some humming. And then we'll do a 2-minute mystery. We'll just do one. How about that? But it'll be the last. And then I think we'll wrap up. But how long will I take to go to all of those things? I don't know. We'll see. Alright. What am I humming? Well, I had started with this one and didn't do it. Ow. Okay. Need more water. I see we have a new redeem. I will do the excuse me, freaking throat. The beaded bracelet. What was that? Beaded bracelet. It is tucked away currently because it is very unpopular, but I will pull it out. Just give it a second. Ooh, thank you for the follow. Shadow Wolf 341. Hi, Dark Storm. Good morning. Let's drop some dances for Shadow Wolf, please. Oh, noisy chair. I'm so sorry. That was very loud. Ah! Blue Flame X66. Welcome to you too. So we need double dances. You see me? Oh, I like that one. That was silly. It's fun. Let's see. What am I gonna do? Okay, it's slow to load. I will give Frog Happy for Shadow Wolf, and then I will do Frog Jam for. Whoa! Where are you moving? So Frog Jam for Blue Flames. There we go. Oh, I accidentally also added that cat emote. That happens a lot to me. That guy sneaks in. I put 3 and then somebody sent a message and then it all bonked. And so when I had clicked it 4 times in quick succession and then I already hit enter, I didn't see there was a cat. I'm sorry. Please ignore him. Please ignore him. The huh is not relevant. Alright, we're going to do beaded bracelet sounds. I'm going to move the mic a little bit. It'll be very quiet. So hold on. Alright, there was our beaded bracelet. I'm gonna move the mic again, so hold on. Ah! It's getting stuck. I'm getting stuck. Okay. Yeah, hello. With that as our last redeem, I think that is good. And I will read a 2-minute mystery now. Yes, that doesn't mean I plan to be wrapping up the stream. But I will be back tomorrow during the day for more of our folk tales. Specifically, the ones we are reading right now are the 1001 Nights, the Arabian Nights stories. But it's the version that's pulled together by Andrew Lang, so it's all weird. Just because that's the place where I have access to stories. That's where we read our folk tales. Their version is the Andrew Lang version. It'll start at 4 p.m. EST. It's not our normal time. And I'm not sure exactly how late I'll go, but it'll probably end a tad shorter than my normal streams go. Hopefully longer than this one, but maybe about the same. Alright, let's do the mysteries. Here, tiny book. It's a weird little book. The way we do this each time that we have read these 2-minute mysteries is basically I will read the story out loud to you guys, and then I will silently read the little answer at the bottom, and then I will reread the story out loud to you guys knowing the answer so that I can try and give emphasis to parts that matter. Every story is the case of the, but I just put the last bit. So this one is the case of the fast traveler, I guess. The fast traveler. Alright. Let's prepare. I'm gonna write it here too. funny how that is. Alright. Well, Helegian, our detective man, or PI, is at the very front of the story already. Here we go. Try the manual dial, suggested Dr. Halligan. Oh wait, I didn't do that. Sorry. Suggested Dr. Halligan. After Captain Gordon of the Miami Police had punched all the push buttons of the radio and had only got static. We're doing tech work now, huh? Oh, okay, Dark Storm. Thanks for quickly popping in. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Happy time zone. Whatever time zone, everybody. But, okay. Helegian's walking captain of the Miami Police through making a radio work. Immediately, music poured out noisily. Do you always play the radio so loud? Snapped Gordon at the pale youth riding handcuffed in the reet seat of the car. The reet seat? What the hell is R-E-A-T, reet seat? I think they mean rear, but it was typo. Anyway, I play it any way I feel like. It's my convertible, retorted McGuire. Helegian turned down the volume. For the rest of the drive to headquarters, he thoughtfully reviewed the case. So they're driving someone else's car back to the police. It's this youth, pale youth, McGuire. But anyway, okay. The Chicago National Bank had been held up 4 days ago, and more than $500,000 was stolen. Wow. One of the hold-up men, according to the Chicago Police Department's informer, was Billy McGuire, a young ex-convict. The informer said McGuire had headed straight for Miami in a green convertible after the crime. That morning, the convertible had been spotted in the driveway of a big-time Florida gambler. The gambler swore the youth had been living with him in Miami for 2 months and therefore couldn't have taken part in a Chicago robbery. A search of the gambler's home disclosed McGuire's summer clothing in the guest room, and throughout the house a typical amount of underworld luxury, including a connoisseur's collection of popular records. But none of the stolen money. You're wasting your time, Gordon, taunted McGuire. Hey, tune up the radio. That's the Dixie Bobcats. Aren't they the greatest? Like popular music, do you? Inquired Helegian. I like a lot of things, especially this Florida climate, sneered McGuire. Enjoy it while you can, answered Helegian. Once this car is back in Chicago, you and your gambler friend will have to think up a new alibi. Why? So, how do we know that he definitely did do the thing? The robbery. I'm going to silently read. Wow. Okay. I'm rereading it. Here we go. I'll put my emphasis where I can. Try the manual dial, suggested Dr. Helegian after Captain Gordon of the Miami Police had punched all the push buttons of the radio and had only gotten static. Immediately, music poured out noisily. Do you always play the radio so loud? Snapped Gordon at the pale youth riding handcuffed in the seat of the car. I play it any way I feel like. It's my convertible, retorted McGuire. Helegian turned down the volume. For the rest of the drive to headquarters, he thoughtfully reviewed the case. The Chicago National Bank had been held up 4 days ago, and more than $500,000 was stolen. One of the hold-up men, according to the Chicago Police Department's informer, was Billy McGuire, a young ex-convict. The informer said McGuire had headed straight for Miami in a green convertible after the crime. That morning, the convertible had been spotted in the driveway of a big-time Florida gambler. The gambler swore the youth had been living with him in Miami for 2 months and therefore couldn't have taken part in a Chicago robbery. A search of the gambler's home disclosed McGuire's summer clothing in the guest room, and throughout the house a typical amount of underworld luxury, including a connoisseur's collection of popular records, but none of the stolen money. "You're wasting your time, Gordon," taunted McGuire. "Hey, tune up the radio. That's the Dixie Bobcats. Aren't they the greatest?" "Like popular music, do you?" inquired Helegian. "I like a lot of things, especially this Florida climate," sneered McGuire. "Enjoy it while you can," answered Helegian. "Once this car is back in Chicago, you and your gambler friend will have to think up a new alibi." Why? Why do we know it was him? All right, I will give you a couple moments while I hum some more. Alrighty, what am I going to? The classic. My stream is not doing well. The Wi-Fi is not recovering. It just keeps going back down. Oh no. Come on, Wi-Fi, you can do it. I have an answer to read. Please. Please. I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to be frozen. Cage, can you at least hear me? I think we are coming back. I think we are recovering. I think we are good. And with this, I know Fett left. Oh my god, no, we're leaving. Cage, if you can hear me, I'm going to be asking for your recommendation for raiding as soon as I answer this, especially with how my Wi-Fi suddenly decided it refuses to stay afloat. I don't know what that's about, but I can promise you I don't appreciate it. I think I eat frogs now. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't eat my frogs. Okay, thank you, Cage. Okay. Alright. Alright. Okay. The answer, if you're all ready, had quite a bit of a delay. Thank you for the follow. Still chill. Here's some dancey emotes. I'm going to give frog wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There you go. And then my Wi-Fi dip again. I'm going to scrumpt. I'm going to scrimp. Dunk. Why not? 'Cause murder. What the heck is going on? Weird thing happened again. Okay. Alright, I read. 2 reasons. There's 2 different reasons that we are certain this guy, or pretty sure at least, this guy is the one who robbed that bank. McGuire's lack of a suntan. He's supposedly been in Miami 2 months. You're telling me he's still pale? Well, I guess you could still be pale, but not very likely. As well as the fact that the push buttons of the car radio had not yet been adjusted to Florida stations. If he likes music so much, how come he is not listening to it? Why is it still not connected? They were still tuned to Chicago frequencies, as investigation later showed. That's why they couldn't get the music at first, because they were still tuned to Chicago. I don't know why the cops cared so much to be getting the radio going anyway, but it was very relevant in this case. Alright, Gam, good night. Take care, eat well. Turnabog, hello. We are wrapping up now. So, what do you think, Cage? Where are we going as I prep our raid messages? Here's our raid messages. Make sure to copy that one if you've got the emotes. Or if you do not, here is the no emotes one. An ad's gonna try and run. Oh, fuck you, ad. Fuck you. Why now? We would have been fine if it weren't for the delays due to the Wi-Fi being crap. Bugging me. I see 4 people that we must have gone to before. I think... I don't know. Actually, maybe I do. Oh, I'm torn between 2. Cage, Nightly, or Sucrose Collision. My ad is probably running about this time. Quick! That was very shrill. I'm sorry. Hello. Okay, I see weirdly no responses. I think those 2 are going to suggest. Aha! Okay. I click. I undo because I clicked spot wrong. I'm going with. I was just about to go Sugar Crash because they come to us a lot, but we don't go to them a lot. Oh, they just got raided. We can do a double raid. We're doing a double raid to Sucrose. Okay. Alright. Thank you everybody for watching. Sorry to deal with the technical issues. And I will hopefully see everybody that wants to join tomorrow and that is not technically distraught. But, yeah. Alright. Everybody eat well, take care. If you're gonna go eat, if you're having a day, have a great day. Whatever time zone, happy time zone. It's double raid time. Woo! Raid, raid, raid. Raiding, raiding, raiding. Yeah, we're raiding. Okay.